This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. And we have the wonderful Jennifer Snyder with Neat as a Pin with us. You were on not too many weeks ago, and you said, I love packing people. And so we are just right after Christmas.
Right.
And people are taking trips and doing things. And in fact, I'm getting ready to go on a trip. So you are going to pack me.
I am going to
for
pack
a cruise to Germany in on the River Rhine. And so it's going to be cold, number one. I do not like to be cold, so I've got to have enough for that. And, but not so much that I can't manage all the luggage.
Right.
So I'm trying to be minimalist here.
And you've done a good job.
You think so?
You've done a great job.
All right. Well, of course,
Okay.
the proof in the pudding is if I get cold. So hopefully that won't happen. Yeah. But anyway, so where do we start? I mean, picking luggage was a hard choice. I've really gone over this many times because we have certain requirements from the airline Lufthansa, what you can carry on, checking baggage. We generally check everything when we fly.
Okay.
But we fly Southwest and bags fly free, so we think, why worry about lifting it up and doing all that? Well, in this case, we're thinking we might want to go ahead and use the overhead bins.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure this is going to fit.
Okay.
So anyway, here we are.
Okay. So what we have, just recapping, you and I've already talked about this. But back here, we have a jacket. We've got an overnight bag. We have a belt.
Personal, in Europe, I'm going to wear, passport and all that stuff
Yes.
will go in
Yep.
there.
So we've got some
Phone.
heavy tops. We've got some light tops. We've got a pashmina, a sleeping pillow, a puffy vest, some socks, some base layer. We have another heavy, nice top. We have an umbrella. We have a pair of shoes, couple of glasses, and then her personal items are already in the bag. So if I were to approach this without having all the information that I've already got, I would start with what is going in the carry-on bag. So what are we taking with us? And I know that we've talked about that. So then the jacket back here,
I'm going to wear that.
she's going to wear that along with those clothes there.
That's the outfit I'm wearing, yeah.
So these things don't get packed, but we'll want the belt bag in the carry-on, right? And we'll want the neck pillow in the carry-on.
Well, and I was thinking this because my medicine, as it's a many-hour flight.
Yes. So do you have liquids in there?
Not really, no.
No? Then we can put that in there too. If you had liquids that needed to be checked, or if you had the liquids that needed to be taken out, those of course would need to be in here. But if you want, yes, we can. The footprint is big enough, so we'll go ahead and get that in there. And it is smart if you're checking bags to have your medication in your carry-on regardless.
Right.
And so I would always have that. And if I'm going to be gone for a long time and I'm checking a big bag with a lot of things, I will put a change of clothes, I will put toothbrush, and I use these little pills for toothpaste, but I will put enough to get me through a day or two, at least long enough to get to the store to buy something more in my carry-on.
Okay.
If it's a long time. If I'm just gone a couple of days, I don't go through that.
Of course, then the
trouble.
worry is always, what if something happens to my bag with my clothes in it?
Right. And just as an aside, I used to not travel as much as I do now. Now I travel all the time.
Really?
I have Apple AirTags, so I have 4 of them. I have 4 of them, and they each have a name. But when we travel, they go into our check bags. So at any time, I know where they are.
Really?
And my phone will tell me when they're about to come down the chute, because it says whatever their names are, they're just named colors, and it's like chartreuse is less than half a mile from you. And so it tells me how close they are to me, and it just gives me peace of mind knowing that if they get lost, I'll know where they are.
That's neat.
So that's something to consider. If you travel a lot, it's not worth the expense if you only go now and then. So okay.
Right.
So what we'll do, let's start with your check bag.
I'm calling that an overnight.
It is.
Because it's makeup, it's all that stuff.
It's a beautiful pink train case. All right, so we have in here, so this bag is big enough. It has a large enough footprint to accommodate that. And we had talked about your hat, your warm hat, and your mittens. They can go in here even if they go into the outer pockets.
Okay.
So this is your next biggest item, and although it'll squish a little bit, is that a real word? Does Merriam-Webster consider squish a word?
I think so. Squish it.
So with the train case, and so with the train case fills up most of the bag.
Yeah.
We can put this in here, and then it's going to be a little bit awkward. So what we might do is wait and put this in last. We know it needs to ride in this one, and let's see what else goes in there. Worst case scenario, it could pop out like that. Everything doesn't have to be in there, so it zips. And you can always, you may not want to. My husband does, but he'll wear it through the airport.
You can do that. That's true.
It's possible, but not ideal.
And I'll be wearing that.
And you'll be wearing this, and so
Right.
I'll put this back here with the jacket. So what we're doing is we are reducing the number of things, and these were in here.
I've got glasses, various glasses, so I
Yep.
figure they're going to be
They're
going
going
in
to
there
be
too,
in there.
yeah.
So they're in here as well.
We have an umbrella.
The umbrella will go in here. And then it looks like you're good. You've still got room. You still,
Well, snacks.
Yep, you still have room for snacks.
gotta have
You have a
snacks.
book. You have room if you had a light blanket you wanted to take with you to wear on the airplane to cover up with. So you still have, we could probably fit a whole nother train case in here. We've got a lot of room. So this is in
Okay.
good shape.
Okay.
So that then takes us to, we'll put these together. That takes us to your real bag. And so we have this great soft-sided duffel, loving it, and it's okay. What we want to do, and really, Anne, you've done a great job. This is not what I was anticipating. I was expecting.
Well, this isn't how it normally goes
Yeah.
for me. I'm
So this
usually-
is great.
I've been trying to be very intentional about what I'm taking.
So let's look at this. You're going to be gone a long time. You're going to be gone a long time.
Right.
And you've already planned ahead, so you have enough underclothes, a fresh one for every single day. And then what Anne's doing, is reusing the outfits, and they mix and match. So my question to you is, when you are where you're going to be, when it's time for you to get into the bag, do you plan on taking the things out of the bag, putting them on hangers
usually do
in a
that.
closet? Okay. So then if that's the case, we want to put these on top.
Okay.
We'll put these in last
Okay.
because they'll be easy to get out. And normally I would say we want to do the biggest things first. These are kind of big. So what we'll do is we will pack this in consideration that these guys are going to come out. And again, this is really easy, way easier than I think you thought it would be. So when we're looking at what you've got, we've got your shoes.
Yeah, I was told to bring an extra pair of shoes.
Okay.
They're kind of all-weather little boots that are warm. And I have another
Very-
pair, a lighter color that coordinates with stuff that I'll be wearing.
Okay.
So I'll have those two, but that's it for the shoes.
All right. So looking.
And fortunately, this cruise is not one where you have to have evening wear,
Yay.
which is fun. Those are fun, but
Right.
That's
Those
a
are
whole
hard.
nother level,
That's a whole nother thing. Okay. You are not going to be pressed for space in this bag, believe it or not. And so if you were, what I would say is to take these, because your shoes,
well, they're empty.
they're empty, and that's empty space. If you don't fill the shoes, especially leather shoes in particular, if you don't fill them, they'll get squished. They'll get smashed. Smashed, Merriam-Webster like smashed.
Yeah.
They'll get smashed, and the leather will,
They can crack. And
it'll look funny. It'll become
Right.
misshapen, and then you've got a problem. So I would suggest, under most circumstances, to go ahead and fill your shoes, and you would want to do that by rolling your socks.
I haven't thought about that.
So all we're going to do, and we've got these.
I've just got 4 pair.
You've got four
Four
pair
outfits, 4 pair.
of big fluffy socks. So I'm rolling the larger socks, putting those further down inside. These little guys, and what I'm doing is I'm starting with the toe so that we're not bunching things up. So
Right.
it's like making the bed from the bottom, and so we're rolling them up. That way, these ends right here can do something. They're more flexible than the toes. And so that's why we do it that way. Okay, look, we have all
Good job.
we have the shoes and socks. And then what I'm going
Awesome.
to do, and you've got this bag, which is so clever. So I'm going to put them in there, but instead of putting them in there as I would look at them on the floor, I'm going to do this. Now these shoes, they don't have a big indentation at the arch.
Right.
A lot of shoes do. Leather shoes, heels in particular, a lot of women's shoes mainly. And so if you turn them like this, they're going to nest together. The widest part of the shoe is going to nest into the narrowest part of the shoe, and that's why we want to do that. So putting these guys in here, just like this, backwards. All right, and then wrapping it up. So I'm wrapping it up, just making it neat. Does it have to be neat? Yes. It's not just because it's me. Because we can
everything is neat as a pin.
We can get more in the bag
Yeah.
if we don't just shove it in there.
Well, and duffels, I mean, they're expandable for sure.
They are. So I'm taking the shoes, and fortunately, Anne's foot is about as long as the bag is wide.
Okay, good.
So what I've done, maybe you can see, is instead of turning them in, putting them in here this way, I've turned them sideways. So they're taking up a lot of room back here at the back, but they're also taking up a lot of room at the wheels. Because if we put the shoes at the top and then we have something that could get wrinkled at the bottom, we've got all that weight.
Swooshing.
So whenever you're packing a bag, wherever your wheels are, that's where you want your jeans, that's where you want your sweatshirts, that's where you want your shoes, those things. And then moving away from the wheels, you get more and more delicate as you go along.
Okay.
And then that takes us to the puffy. Now the puffy, I love a puffy. This is a side story. I went to Dillard's one time trying to find a dress for the Nutcracker. And I was looking for dresses, and I would just lose track of myself, and every time I ended up in the puffies.
They do have a lot of them.
I can't wear a puffy to the Nutcracker. No, I just love them.
Well,
okay.
figure out how to do that.
So what I've done, I zipped it up so it doesn't come open.
Okay.
And then, I'm folding it, but I'm starting, and all the puffies can do this. This isn't just this one. So I'm starting at the collar. The collar, because it's smaller across, but then we've got the little rise. So I'm folding it. Let me see. Let me do it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm just folding it over a little bit, right? I'm not starting here, but I'm folding it over, pushing it down to give myself a flat place from which to work. And then I'm rolling it, right? And since it's a puffy and it's full of air, I'm squeezing it as I'm rolling it, right? It's not a space bag, but you're going to get a lot more. So there, the big puffy is now this little space. And what I'm going to do is put it on top of the shoes.
The shoes.
Yes. So because the shoes are there, and then I'm going to tuck it in the shoes, and then the sides of the bag are going to hopefully keep it from unrolling on me while I'm working through these other things. And there you have it.
It's all snug in there.
Right. So it's snug down here in the end. It's a puffy. It's not, these things won't be able to smash it. All right. Look, we are seriously almost done. Isn't that crazy?
I may wear that too.
You may wear this.
Because you mentioned a little wrap on an airplane. Because that's almost as big as a blanket. It's a nice size cashmere. Yeah, it's going to be very warm.
I would say let's put it in there.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
And, and honestly, if you wanted to, and when it's time to go, you have room in your bag for your things. If you wanted to put the train case in this bag.
Yeah.
So if you're able,
I might do that.
if you determine that you can carry this on and not check it, I would put the train case in there. That gives you a little bit more room in here, and it's going to free up the weight on your shoulder.
Sure, yeah.
And so you don't have to, but if you want, I can show you how to do it.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You have a lot of room.
Because other than the medicine,
So if we
I
took
need that out of there.
Yeah, so if we took your medicine, right? Then, and this, I love
I
these.
mean, frankly, that can go right there.
So
and
these
nobody's the wiser.
these John Hart train cases are fantastic because they're soft and they'll give a little bit.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing, I am putting it in here, laying it flat on the bottom of the bag. So what I've got, if you can see, I've got the train case, I've got the shoes and the puffy. They're all right here.
Right.
They're about the same depth, about the same size. Now this little guy
That's still going
tucks
back in
right
there.
in there. This little guy tucks right in there. We still have room for a laptop. We still have room for a bag.
Not going to take my laptop. I will. There's a little bag in this that I'll put probably my cord, my charger
the
cord,
chargers.
and earphones and stuff in this.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
call it a day.
And so all of your tech will then go in there, whatever tech you're taking, a book,
Right.
a magazine, whatever you want now fits in there. So what we're left with two tops, two little tops, two big tops, 3 pair of pants, and 2 pairs of base layer. So what I'll do is, so since you are taking them out and hanging them up when you get to where you're going, I'm going to put them together individually. If you weren't, I would suggest rolling them into outfits.
I've seen that done. Yeah.
And I can show you how to do that if we want to. I'll do it with one of these others. Not
Okay.
These
Yeah,
pants
that's a
have
good idea.
have a texture, and so again, what I'm doing is I'm folding them in half, just like I would hang them on a hanger. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to start at the fold. Okay, and we're not going tight at the fold. We're folding over
Kind of a
just
nice
a little.
wide.
So I've got a couple inches here, and then I start folding. And unlike the puffy, I'm not pulling it tight. They're loose. Because if we pull it too tight, then you're going to get wrinkles.
Yeah.
If you need to pull them tight to get more in, then what I would do is take tissue paper, just gift tissue paper, doesn't have to be expensive, and put it here and put it here, and then have one that rolls along with. The tissue paper will also help prevent wrinkles.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I did them loosely, and so I'm rolling them up and just tucking them in. These are the bottoms. They're a little heavier than the tops. Putting them in there toward the wheels on top of the shoes. And then let's say, can I put all the blacks together? So if we were to put it together as an outfit, so we've got a pair of black pants, and then here is a black sweater.
Turtleneck. Yeah, it's a kind of a
little
turtleneck.
So what I'll do is, don't wad it up. People tell me all the time, oh, just stuff it in there. I can't stuff anything. Okay, so fold it in half long ways. Then I'm bringing the sleeves over, and what I'm trying to do is make a straight line. Okay, bringing it down into a straight line. Okay, then this turtleneck is kind of a problem, so I'm going to pull this down a little further to make room for the neck. And by making room for the neck,
It's like origami.
yes, by making room for the neck, I don't have this knot in one place. So I've got my shirt. I'm going to bring the bottom up because this is,
Oh, it's a nice little square.
so here's my little square, and then here's my pants. Your pants, they're smaller than what my pants would be.
I don't think so.
But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so here we have the pants. Okay, and so what I'm trying to do is
Get
flat
that same size.
Right, I'm trying to get them at the same size, but I want to make sure that there's not any weird folds or wrinkles in there,
Yeah.
and that just to try to get them as smooth as possible. If they're pants that came from the cleaners, they're going to be super flat,
Yeah.
but then they're also going to be possibly wrinkle. So what I'm doing then is taking still folding it in half, and now see how my shirt is the same size as the pants. Okay, going to, again, not a tight fold, but fold for a bit, and then just fold the whole thing together. And then when you get to where you're going, when they're put together like this, you can just reach in and grab. It's fantastic for kids. And so when I would pack for my son, I would roll up in there. After I had the shirt and the pants, I would put a pair of underwear, pair of socks, everything he needed for the whole day was in that one thing, and he would just pull it out, and
He was good to go.
he was good to go, and I knew that he'd matched no matter where we went. All right, so the green pants, doing the same thing, folding them over a couple inches to give us a little bit of room, and then if it puckers up along the way, what we want to do is just pull them out, make it flat, and then just putting it in here. So I've got, on the bottom, I've got the train case, I've got the shoes and the puffy, and so what I'm doing is I'm creating another layer. We could do this exact same thing if we had a big suitcase. We would put the jeans and the sweaters down by the wheels, but most of the suitcases that open up, you can get several layers worth of things. When you roll them up, then you can have those layers. You have those layers. And then we have this other nice little top. So we're not combining this one with the pants. Just remember that black shirt is in there with those pants when you get to Germany. So again, folding it over, straightening it out, trying to make a straight line. And then I'm folding the long sleeves over. And this one doesn't have a turtleneck, but I'm still folding it in. And so I'm folding it far enough so I can have the whole collar in here, so the collar's not on the outside of the roll catching on things.
Right.
And so here we go. Again, I'm rolling it very loosely, lightly, just to get it in there. And so what we still have a whole couple of inches across the top. We have the base layer. So right now these base layers are in bags. They're not going to come home in bags. I wouldn't recommend putting them in bags to bring them back home. No. Anne's already given me permission to take them out. So what we'll do is we will do these guys.
They're very soft.
They're soft.
They should not take up much room at all.
They should not take up much room. In fact, I've just bought some silk base layer for my trip to Montreal, and was reading that you can't wash it in the washing machine, but there's some soap that you just put it in the sink, and the soap does you don't have to agitate it.
Right.
And so, okay, so I'm folding this in half, and this is so soft, I have to be very careful. So fold it in half. I've already folded the sleeves down. And so again, I have this uniform shape, and I'm folding it over so that the neck is inside, the neck opening. See how soft it is? Ta-da! Now here my pants are already folded. Come in right here. That guy's going to get in my way. So bringing this up a little bit. While we don't necessarily care if these get wrinkled because they're a base layer.
Yeah, it's a base layer.
If we're consistent, it makes the whole thing easier. So if we just do it the same way. So here we go. Ta-da! Now, if you were running low on, and I'm putting, this is going to go way up at the top because they're soft, and I'm rolling it down in there so I can get the other one. If you were running low on space, these guys, you could also, and I'll show you with this one, if you were running very low on space, what you could do is take this. You can do that with socks. You can do this with anything that is small. Is if you're running low on space, don't try to treat these things like a shirt that you would wear. You can roll them up to where they're
even tidier,
super small.
Yeah.
And then just tuck them into any space that you can. Put them in. You know, you may not want to put them inside the shoes, but there's always
if they need to be washed, why not? You know,
there's always little air pockets that you can put these small type of things into.
Yeah, I never thought about that before. That's cool.
And then what I'll do too, if I'm taking, sorry guys, if you're watching, if I'm taking a molded bra, what I'll do is put that in the corners of the suitcase. And that way the other clothes will tuck up into the mold and it won't flatten.
Okay.
And so we're just trying to fill those little spaces. And so then here we go.
All right.
And then we've got the two shirts left, and we should be golden.
That's almost it.
The other base layer tucked way down in there because it was small. These right here, these are the nicer shirts that she's taking. So we don't want to necessarily roll them up super small, but we do want to make them small. And so it is, so what I've got, just turned it into a triangle or rectangle. This is what this one's called. It's going to set neatly on the top of this one. We'll do the same thing with this one. I really like this shirt.
Well, it just seemed Christmassy.
Yep, I think if I knew where you had it, I'd be wearing one too, but then we'd look alike. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got,
Oh, my gosh.
see, and then we just tuck it in here.
And this bag has wheels, and so
has
it's
wheels.
pretty easy to get around. And
look at this.
it even has my overnight, the little makeup thing.
Yes, and
That's
the
got
train case is in there, yes.
all the face stuff and all that.
Absolutely.
Sort of thing, so.
And if you noticed, we didn't have to push it together and have somebody
just
else
zips.
pull on it with a coat hanger. And
Those are the tricks of the trade.
you know, I think my mom used that trick to get her tight jeans on. So I think where that came from. But it's
Maybe after the trip, I'll need to be doing that.
right. And so honestly, what you have by getting everything as much as you can into one bag, you've got this one.
Yeah,
and if you
that's
have
good.
to, the truth is you're going to buy things.
I
So
know.
you have
It's
some
a
room.
Christmas market trip.
And therefore you've got some room for small things.
Yeah.
And if you needed to take a whole nother bag that you could check on the way home for your purchases, you've got that too.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, that is awesome.
And you are ready to go to the German market.
Yeah,
I love it.
Who's with me? Okay. This is great. Jennifer, you are just awesome. And it was so funny when we talked and you said, I love to pack people. I went,
do.
I got a packing job for you.
Yeah.
So this is great. You are just one of my, all the best in your travels. And
I'm
how can
excited.
folks get in touch with you through Neat as a Pin?
You can find me at neatasapen.com. I'm on social media, Neat as a Pin Organizing and Cleaning. Be there from anybody who needs some help packing. It's my favorite thing to do.
She's got a lot of irons in the fire. Check out our other podcast because it was fun
Yeah, there's a
chatting
lot.
with you about that. So many things that are going on.
Great.
So thank you for being with us for Central Texas Life.
Yeah.
I hope you do pack yourself and take a wonderful trip. Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.